Okay, I don't think we're live yet. I'm waiting to see.
Webinar is now streaming live on Facebook.
Okay, we might be live. I don't know yet. Let me check. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Wind Down with Business Coach Nancy. Let me just check my screen and make sure we're live before I keep going here with my guest today. You see how this is working. So if I'm live, I don't want to go silent for too long. Okay. It says this video has ended on Facebook, and I don't know if that's accurate. This would just take the cake, Fred, if we're not live right now, or if we are live with all the technical difficulties we had today. And then we have this too.
Mine says live on Facebook.
So. Mine says live on Facebook too, but when I look on my Facebook business page, which I'm trying to do so I can see whether we're actually broadcasting and I can see people's comments. Although Caden just shared. Okay, Michelle Williams is saying we're live, and Caden said hi, so I guess we're live. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I have to tell you that Fred and I, this is the longest weekend wind down I've ever had. Thankfully. Really, it was a weekend wind down from hell. So thankfully, Fred called me somewhere right around 2 o'clock to say, let's just, usually I check the technology about 15 minutes before. Well, thank God you called me because this was really difficult. So I normally use Be Live, which is a program that goes live on Facebook, and it's kind of fancy. It has our names and we can put up comments, and I love it. Well, today we had a combination of Be Live would not let me schedule a broadcast. Fred's camera wasn't working. Then we tried to do it by the phone, and that wasn't working either. And finally, we tried Zoom, and that wasn't working for a little while, and then we got it working. So
there's a happy ending to this story.
Absolutely. So we are here because I'm so excited about this conversation. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Nancy Ganzikofer, a business coach to interior designers and other creative entrepreneurs. And this is my second broadcast of the year. I had taken 2 months off, but I don't know, Fred, if you even know this, but I am so excited to be speaking to you on Weekend Wind Down. And I know we've met each other before, but the very first time I saw you speak, I was the vice president of the Long Island chapter of the Interior Design Society. And I went to the IDS National Conference, and you made such a great presentation that I was like, I want to do what he's doing.
And now you're doing it.
And now I'm doing it. So you were my inspiration because I thought, oh my God, like you're giving everyone such great information and people were so compelled. You're such an incredible speaker and you give such value that I literally that day said, I want to do what he's doing. And the person who I was with, Sal Campitello from East End Interiors, said, you could do that. And I'm like, I can? Yeah, maybe I can. But that was the first twinkle in my eye. And I don't even know, that was probably 6 years ago.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Wow. And that's when it takes me 2 years to make a decision to take a big leap of faith like this. So 2 years later, I became a business coach.
Better late than never. You know what I'm saying? Better late than never.
So you were my inspiration. So tell everyone who doesn't know you, which I doubt is many people, who you are while I look around my other monitors and do a little sharing on my other pages.
Okay, well, very good. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fred Burns, and I am what do I call myself? I'm an interior design industry business coach and copywriter and speaker, and have been for the past 31 years. I know I look like I'm only 21 years old, but I dye my hair. Nancy, you should know that. I dye my hair. I got so tired of people saying I look so young, so I dye my hair.
You do. You do look young.
So I am in the business of helping design professionals set and get higher fees and promote themselves as the stars that they are and really be more successful. And I work with designers and stagers and window fashion professionals and kitchen bath professionals and others from Dallas to Dubai, helping them reach the kind of success they want and deserve. So that's it in a nutshell. And
I really wanted to talk to you today about the changes in the industry. I mean, you have really lived through such an incredible range of, like, how was it when you first started coaching? Your wife's an interior designer, correct?
Well, no, she is someone who's becoming a home stager, actually. A long story short, I did the keynote address at the International Association of Home Staging Professionals this past fall. She was in the audience. She decided she wanted to become a home stager. So now she's taking all sorts of webinars so she too can be a stager. So once upon a time, when I started this years and years and years ago, it was a much smaller arena, much smaller sandbox that we were playing in. And those were the days when all you had to do was have nice images, Nancy, nice pictures on your website and nice portfolios. And that was it. That's all you needed to do. Now, I've never seen such competition as there is today. I've never seen so many people in this industry as now. And it's never been more important to promote yourself, which to me really hits home, because I wrote a book when I first started my career called Sell Yourself, 501 Ways to Get Them to Buy From You. And I find myself now talking about the concepts I talked about back in 1998, when interior designers didn't have to really promote themselves so much, but it was something I was introducing then. Now it's almost a requirement that you be a good self-promoter and good self-marketer as well as a design professional, because again, it is so competitive.
It is so competitive, and the industry has changed so much when it comes to what a residential homeowner can do for themselves.
Yeah, and of course, all the HGTV and the home design shows have changed the whole fabric of this industry, to the point where people, I think, now think they can do it themselves, and everyone's believing that they can do it on a dime and design on a dime. And it's just a whole different, I guess what I'm saying is it's really important to educate our customers more than ever before, because of all the changes in the industry.
It is so important. The communication skills that the designers need to have to be able to really explain their value is different. I mean, it used to be people were thrilled to have an interior designer helping them. And now residential homeowners are more like, they're sometimes suspicious, like, well, what are you going to try to sell me? And I think it's really sad for the interior designers, but those who can learn how to sell themselves well, market properly, and really provide exemplary service, those are the ones who really can make a decent living at this.
I think it's important to promote yourself these days as an interior consultant, Nancy, as much as an interior designer, a problem solver, to really connect with your clients and give the impression that you speak their language, that you don't, the fact that they don't have much time and that they don't have the resources and they don't really know where to begin a remodeling project. I think it's more than ever before, it's important to partner with your clients and convey this idea that you are in it together. That was not so much the case 25 years ago, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny you said interior design consultant, because I always say you have to look at yourself like I look at myself. I'm a coach. I'm a business coach. You're an interior design coach. And you want to be able to coach them. You know, there's all different levels of service. There's the luxury design, which I really want to talk to you about, because that's also one of your sweet spots. But you have to be their go-to person for everything interior design. And
all your social media and all your marketing now more than ever before, you really have to speak to their pain. And I talk a lot about no pain, no gain in this marketplace. But you need to really understand the biggest challenges that these high-end clients face, and blog about that, and tweet about that, and text about that, and really address all your marketing. You know, you talked about differences. In the old days, you could go to High Point and then and write about all the neat pillows and fabrics you saw. Nowadays, I think to be successful in your marketing, you have to address the biggest challenges your clients face, and not give away the store as you respond to these in your blog post, for example, but at least acknowledge them and let people know that you can help them overcome these challenges. So that's why this idea of coming across as a partner, as a problem solver, as a interior consultant is extremely important today more than ever before.
I agree. You know what? Kaden is monitoring. Just so you guys know, doing this through Zoom, I can't see your comments directly, but please like, comment, and share. Kaden is keeping me up to date in Messenger if there's anything I can answer, because truly every time I refresh my Facebook business page, it says we're not live, but Caden's telling me we're live. So this is going to be a really important conversation. Fred is an extremely experienced coach, and I would love everyone to share this broadcast. So like, comment, and share, and we'll do our best through Caden also to answer your questions. So tell me about the book you wrote, and how long ago did you write it? You said in the beginning, right? 30 years ago?
In 1998, I came out with a book called Sell Yourself, 501 Ways to Get Them to Buy From You. And I promoted it as the Blow Your Horn, Toot Your Flute Success Manual.
I love that.
Even started a day, October 4th back then was International Toot Your Flute Day, based on this idea that first and foremost, you're selling yourself. But the most important sale any of us ever make is the personal sale. So I was going around the country, Nancy, promoting this book, speaking at rallies and having a great time. And then 9/11 hit. Oh. And I lost a lot of speaking engagements, a lot of business, as so many other people did. And I had to make a decision. I had to decide on which organization, which group out there seemed to be most receptive to my message, who was buying the most books, and who seemed to be enjoying the programs, the coaching I do the most. And without question, with interior designers. So after 9/11, I exclusively niched within this industry. And that's pretty much how it's gone since. So it's interesting. And on we all have a 9/11 story, right? I was giving a presentation at the D&D building in New York on how to set and get higher fees. And I noticed that the attention of the people in the audience was not on me. Midway into the presentation, they were looking over my shoulder. And in fact, they were watching through the window in the back, the trade centers being bombed or being crashed into. And so that was an interesting way to usher in the new era of our society, you know.
Yeah, you know what? It gives me goosebumps. I'm here in New York, and I lost a very good friend that day, and it was still gives me goosebumps. Everyone remembers where they were.
Oh, without question, and always will. Yeah,
and always will. So let me just say hi to a couple of people. There's about 15 to 17 people watching. Nancy Lay says, true, I see myself as a problem solver. Absolutely. Elizabeth says hi. Stephanie said, oh, she finally got on. Apparently I noticed that my messenger is going off because people were having trouble finding the broadcast. So thank you, Kaden, for handling the abundance of messages coming through on my phone right now and through my messenger. So let's see. Nest Interior Design says, through that trust building phase, we constantly have to educate customers on how we can help them avoid so many mistakes. That's so true. She also goes on to say, which people unfortunately don't understand until they have a contractor. They hired that installed $3,000 of the wrong tile, or a $2,500 sofa that won't fit up their stairs. Oh my God, that's so true. And she saw you in Chicago probably 15 years ago, and I love his perspective. So there you go.
Thank you very much for that. That's nice to know.
Yes. So it's true. You know, people, when I was an art consultant, which is what I was when I saw you speak, I used to say to people, how many pieces of artwork do you have under your bed, in your basement, in a closet? Because when you bought them, they weren't the right size, or they weren't framed properly. When you got them home, they were right. And they look at me like, you know, how'd you know? Or how many pictures did you never frame and put up on your wall?
Yeah.
And I'd say that's the beauty of art consulting. We come into your home and we help you. And that's really what the interior designers, that pain point of how many times have you bought a sofa that you get home and it's not right? Or how many times have you tried to put up your own window treatments or select that paint color and you get home and it's horrendous? Hitting those pain points starts to make the client realize the value of your service.
You're absolutely right, Nancy. And the more you hit those pain points, the easier it is to close the deal. I think a lot of designers don't realize that. the whole conversation initially should be about their pain, asking questions. What hurts? What are your biggest challenges when it comes to remodeling your home or redoing your office space, et cetera? And really, I think it's very important to let them vent, to really share all their concerns and everything. And then when it comes down to talking about price, which is not the favorite step in the process for a lot of design professionals around the world,
Right.
The question is, and the way this can work so well is you say, so you mentioned this pain and that pain, and you go through the whole list of challenges they mentioned. And then you say, well, how committed are you to overcoming those challenges? And then they'll inevitably say, well, very committed. And then you go into your close and talk about the investment in your design services. And then if they are still resisting your price, if they express price objections, you say, well, what would it cost you not to do this? What would it cost you not to work with me, to do it alone, to keep on going as you've been doing, trying to somehow upgrade and update your space, to somehow enhance the value of your, and eventual resale value of your space? What would it cost you? And those the combination of those two questions will increase your closing ratio quite a bit when working with high end or any clients whatsoever. When you talk about the pain, Nancy, you get their focus off the price. Yes. Going into a negotiation, of course, your client or your prospect is focusing on price, and that's their number one concern. But when you remind them of all the other issues going on here, all the other challenges that they face, then they start to realize, well, there's a lot more involved, and maybe it would be worth my while to invest a little bit more in this design professional if he or she could help me overcome this pain that I feel.
Yes, I agree with that completely. I also love the question, can I ask why this is important to you now?
Yeah. Oh.
Right? Because that puts them right into the emotional state of why they originally called you. Right? Yeah. Why is it important to you now? You know, I need to redo my kitchen. Why is it important to you now? That's when you find out that they have a wedding coming up and they want to have the rehearsal dinner at their house, or they've been living like this for 15 years and their husband or wife finally released the funds, right? And you put them right into the emotional state. And that, why is this important to you now before you go into the close? Yeah. Also is a beautiful transition to keeping them in that emotional space before you say, well, I have the perfect solution for you. Let's talk, right? I want to just go to questions for a second. Okay. I don't want to lose, because Caden's cutting and pasting them all into Messenger for me. Thank you, Caden. Okay, so Elizabeth said, wait, let me go back. We did that one. Oh, Stephanie said, yes, Caden is amazing. Thank you. I raised him. And he's the best business manager a coach could ask for, trust me. Elizabeth says, Fred was at our RESA conference a couple of years ago, and that's when I started promoting My Only, which is one of your big things. Yeah, let me just read a couple more comments, and I want to go back to that because that is that's the speech that I heard. Lori Sain-Smith says, excited to learn about best practices for growth. Tanya says, how do we best attract people to our website? Okay, so let's go back. We'll get to that, Tanya. Let's go back to I'm the Only.
Okay. Well, it has never been easier to buy elsewhere or to get elsewhere the design services and products that you sell. But the one thing they can't get elsewhere is you. So it is vital that you promote yourself first and foremost. First and foremost, you're not selling your design services or products. First and foremost, you're selling yourself. The problem is there's a lot of people out there who call themselves interior designers or home stagers or decorators or kitchen and bath professionals or whatever. So you really have to differentiate yourself dramatically. I mean, if you Google, I've done this so many times, if you Google interior designer, Short Hills, New Jersey, you'll come up, believe it or not, with hundreds or maybe even thousands of listings. So the question is, why you? What makes you special?
Right.
And I always say when I speak around the country, there's one word with which you can dramatically differentiate yourself. There's one word with which you can make a powerful first impression and leave a terrific lasting impression. And this one word is your brand builder, it's your buzz builder, it's your ultimate fee and price justifier. It is the most powerful word in your victory vocabulary, and that word is only. Are you the only designer in your area who offers a certain product line? Are you the only designer in your area who works with a particular client niche? Are you the only designer in your area who offers a certain type of service? Tell me what only you do, and I will buy only from you.
Oh, I love that.
So, your only statement belongs on your homepage of your website. Your only statement should be part of your elevator speech. Your only statement should be in all your social media. This is your brand. This is your personal marketing brand. And so I encourage all those who are watching or listening to this broadcast to follow that homework assignment, come up with their only statement, and you'll find that it's a lot easier to promote yourself and to differentiate yourself from all those others out there who are trying to get the kind of clients you're trying to reach after. So,
what if they can't figure it out?
Well, let me give you some clues, some only clues here, some shortcuts to coming up with your only. Think about awards you've won. Are you the only one in your area who's won a certain type of awards? Think about your where you've been published. Consider your past life. What did you used to do? Are you the only area designer who used to be an architect, used to be a realtor, used to be an accountant or whatever?
I like that one.
Are you the only, and what do you specialize in? Do you have a certain specialty which no one else in your area can talk about? That's a good way to do it. Your staff, your team, what about the contractors who back you up? What about the vendors and suppliers with whom you work? Are you the only one in your area who can talk about those kind of resources? What is your proudest achievement? When you think back on your career, was there something which you did which no one else in your area was able to accomplish? That's important to talk about. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to think about this. It could even be your educational background and the degrees you have, the certifications you have. But it's a work in progress. It's something you're always having to kind of, just like your portfolio, you're kind of adding to it and polishing it up as you go. But I guarantee you, Nancy, there's an only in all of us, maybe several onlys in all of us.
Yeah, you have me thinking of things that I could say. And it's interesting because I've heard this speech, this presentation, that part before, and it always strikes me. And I'm not sure I ever go back and do my homework. So I have to do my homework too. Yeah. There's a couple of things I'm thinking of. And you know what? If you don't have an only, then maybe it's time to get educated in a new area that gives you your only. I love the interior designers who are going into vegan design. Talk about niche, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or you're the only, Elizabeth is saying, I'm the only female general contractor and interior designer in Wilson County, Tennessee.
So I had a woman in my audience about 6 months ago. I was in Canada, and she was, we discovered, was the only one in her area who focuses on bachelors. And the name of her business was Bachelor Pads. And this was her niche. No one else had that particular client niche. Your only could even have to do with how you run your business, Nancy. I mean, are you the only one who charges as you do in your area? Are you the only one who offers a certain type of design package or online design? So I think what it takes is, this isn't rocket science. This isn't brain surgery. Sometimes you need to put yourself and put your business under a microscope and really dissect what it is that's unique and special about you that no one else in your area can say. And you'll find that coming up with differentiating language is a lot easier than you may think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of certain things for, I'm the only interior designer in the area who's president of a IDS chapter or an ASID chapter, and whatever you're in. You can say, I'm the only interior designer who was previously working in, the banking world, and I incorporate that somehow into, like, you really could, any of your certifications, any of your awards could differentiate yourself. I always try to make people differentiate themselves. That's a hard word to say, especially because I started drinking when we were trying to figure out our technology.
The wine is kicking in there, I think.
Yeah. I try to have them distinguish themselves through their personality traits, right? So I am the most organized, efficient, and attentive interior designer you will ever work with. I try to say, if you can't find an only, you could also create adjectives related to your personality, right? Sure. I'm the most intuitive, colorful, friendly interior designer you're ever going to meet. So that's my exercise, your business in words, where if you are really struggling to differentiate yourself within only in a certification or a line of service, you can also differentiate yourself based on your personality traits.
And make sure and as you do so, I think it's important to make sure there's a so what here. I mean, I'm doing a bio for a designer in New England who was a math major. And she said, Fred, that's the only thing I know that's special about me differentiates me from all the other designers in the series. I'm a math major. So as we brainstormed about it, we talked about the attention to detail that she learned as a math major. The practical know-how, the understanding of the numbers, the budgeting, all these things. And we were able to write a bio that really spelled out why that is important, that she had that math background. So if we could find something important about the fact that someone has a math background, think about your own background and realize that it's not so difficult to use that in your marketing in a positive way.
Yeah, I like that you pulled out the detail oriented. And Stephanie is saying she's always vacillated on whether or not I should mention my background in film set design and my 2 Emmy nominations. Don't want to sound like a braggart. No, that's not sounding like a braggart. Yes, you need to definitely have that out there. Wouldn't you agree, Fred?
Absolutely, Nancy. And why is it so many design professionals want to hide rather than highlight their past life? I mean, what you used to do is vitally important to who you are today. And the expertise you gained is really important. And when it comes to writing your bio or having someone write your bio, you should use your background to talk about the skills you gained and what you learned in your previous career and how it benefits your clients today. And you'll find that if you can make that translation, it's a lot more effective than to talk about what you used to do. So definitely, I think that's important.
It's very important. And it's true, though, that a lot of the interior designers' personalities are such that they're like, I don't want to be too out there. I don't want to be too salesy. And I'm like, it's not being salesy to just talk about what you love doing. And the more you talk about what you love doing, the more people are attracted to you for that service, and they'll know what you do. I mean, I had a client the other day. I literally said, you pick up your kid every day from school, you're standing with a bunch of moms. Do you ever walk up and go, oh my God, I just left a client and I just installed this beautiful something, or I can't wait to go install tomorrow. And they'll go, whoa, what do you do? I'm an interior designer. Like it's a conversation opener, and you're not standing there bragging.
No, it's not bragging at all.
And going, I'm an interior designer, hire me. You just talking about what you do and what you love to do.
I'm always telling designers that they're not just designers. They're also in the sales business, and they're also in the marketing business. You are the marketing director of your own personal corporation, whether you're a designer or a stager or a kitchen and bath professional or a lawyer, whatever. And no one can promote you as effectively as you. And that's why it is.
Thank you. I say the same thing. Let me just go back, because now the comments are flying again. I don't want to miss too many. Okay, Stephanie said, such a good point. I'm not sure at what point she said such a good point, but I'm glad. Oh, Heather Bates is finally here. She saw it when we were practicing. Well, when I was practicing my live on my personal page by myself, waiting for you to come in, she popped on and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work, Heather. Okay. We did the Emmy. When just starting your own, from Victoria, when just starting your own company, is it best to have a niche or keep all options open when trying to gain clients? I have such an opinion about this. You want to go first?
So a niche or, that's a good question, I think.
All right, then I'll go first.
Why don't you go first? Let me think about it. Give me some thinking time.
Okay. I believe, yes, you start out with a niche, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to use myself as an example, but it also applies to interior designers. Let's say you will use your example from before. Your niche is bachelors, right? And you're just talking about at a barbecue or a party that you're helping this bachelor, da, 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 and people, no matter who it is, likes what you're saying. Suddenly they will be like, I'm not a bachelor, but I wonder if you can help me. Now, this happens to me all the time as a business coach. To me, your niche is about your marketing, but that doesn't mean you're not attracting other people to you by being very specific and being able to talk about what you do. When I talk about my business coaching, I coach interior designers. I market to interior designers, but I can't tell you how many other business owners, service-based business owners that I have. I have other coaches, I have other interior design professionals, because they'll call me and go, I know you talk to interior designers, but could you coach me also? If they like what you're saying. When you niche down, it helps you market so specifically. It helps you have conversations very specifically. And it almost is more relaxing for you, and becoming more relaxed in your conversations gives you that aura of confidence that attracts more people to you.
No question.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I've always felt that a niche can make you rich because people know you and they trust you, and it is so much easier to market your services to people who are familiar with you as opposed to reinvent the wheel, And I always feel that it's much more important to use your microscope than your binoculars. So many design professionals have their binoculars looking way out there for all these new prospects, when in fact I think they should look through their microscopes and dissect the people they know and figure out how they can serve those people and take advantage of that recognition factor that they've already built. So I agree with you. I think that it is much easier to launch your business if you're somewhat of a well-known commodity. And there's always the possibility, there's always a chance for you to spin off in a lot of different directions. I remember I began speaking and coaching, writing promotional copy for designers. And then I ended up working with kitchen and bath professionals, and then window fashion professionals, and then home stagers, and then real estate agents. And so there's a lot of spin-off business that you can grow from your initial niche, and don't feel as if because you have an initial niche, you have to stay in that exclusively, because there's a lot of different directions you can branch off into.
I agree. Yeah, because where you start your business is not necessarily where it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. In this niche, I am known for niche is rich and broad is broke. When you niche down, again, it's just suddenly you can speak to your audience much more clearly to their pain points. So if you're an interior designer I have one of my clients has a lot of children, 11 children. I don't know if she's watching. And I thought, really, because you could so speak to families who have a large family, and you're an interior designer specializing in designing homes for large families. That is a very specific niche that really, when she's speaking from experience. They're going to want somebody who has had this experience, and it's scary for them. And I get that. When I niched down to interior designers, I was scared to death. Yeah. I thought, no, everybody needs an art consultant, but I'm going to just go after the interior designers because I know their clients understand the value of the service. I was scared to death. And the tighter I got, the more my business grew. Right.
And it's from a marketing standpoint, it certainly is a lot easier if you have a niche, because there's certain blogs you can work with, there's certain groups you can speak to when you have a niche. There's certain writing opportunities you have. And so it becomes more than just one-on-one marketing. You can market yourself to a group if you become well-known in a niche.
Yes. So, yes.
Especially when you're starting out, I think it really is a shortcut to success to have one or two or three groups in mind that you can specialize in.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So Sharon says, I think the hardest part of that is really being able to see where and how it fits into the brand you are creating. For me, sometimes I find some clients, and I'm not saying this is necessarily you, Sharon, but some clients overthink instead of do, right? So sometimes you have to do until you start figuring out where you're landing, where your sweet spot is, who your ideal client is. And you can't always figure out every detail in advance. And you have to have some flexibility to web and flow through your creative process, because creating a business is a creative process.
Yeah. And knowing at least having an idea initially of your ideal client certainly does help this process,
Yes.
Who are these people? Where are these people? What are their biggest challenges? I think if you can make those decisions ahead of time, then deciding on what your niche should be is a lot easier. And then again, if you have if you are really focused on kitchen and bath design, then that will help you narrow down the field and work with those people who are in need of kitchen and bath renovations or whatever.
Definitely. And, I did a whole episode. I know you've been on Luann's podcast quite a few times. My first episode, I think it was my first on Luann's podcast, number 15, was called Niche is Rich and Broad is Broke. Yeah. So if anyone wants to go back and listen to that, I highly encourage it. And now I've been on, I don't know, three times or 4 times. And I know you just recorded another episode with her. How many times have you been on Luann's podcast?
I've been on 8, I think, and the 8th one was today. It's actually broadcast today. It's called The Dirty Dozen: 12 Ways to Sabotage Your Success in 2019. Oh, wow. All about the pitfalls and the obstacles that so many designers encounter along the way. This time of year, I won't give my whole message, but basically this time of year, we're so focused on success, Nancy. And what do we have to do? What are the shortcuts to success? How can we be more successful this year? And I think it's really important to be aware of the dangers along the way, And we talked about undercharging for your services, of wasting your time each day, so you're not making the most valuable and productive use of your time. There's a lot of little bunny holes that you can fall into. There's a lot of little traps that can really sabotage your success and kill your career. So the whole point of that was about the idea of be aware of the mistakes and the missteps that can really bring you down as you try to make this a career year.
Oh, I can't wait to go listen to that episode. Let me just look at comments again. And while I'm looking at comments, part of the reason why, well, I feel like I had you on one other time, but I'm trying to have on my weekend wind down all the authors of Luann's new book.
Oh, yes.
Right? Because you and I and 12 or 13 other business experts, in quotes, but we are in our own little areas, are authors in Luann's book, and we're going to be at her event, Luann Nigara Live, at the end of March, that goes till April 1st.
Right.
And we're all going to be having our time on stage. We're all going to go up against Luann's questions and the questions of the audience. And I'm so excited for that event. I'm not sure how many people have registered. Every time Luann sends me a message, it's going up and up and up. So if you guys haven't gotten into that yet.
Short Hills, New Jersey, right? Is that what
Yes. And where are you living now?
I live outside of Boulder, Colorado.
You'll be flying in. I'll be driving.
Yeah.
All right, let me check to see. It keeps bouncing back. Okay, Chris, I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody, so I'm trying to keep up here. Oh, Heather said, okay, I guess then telling people I was an EMT for 2 years is what gave me the ability to really hear what people want.
All right. You have to be creative sometimes as you talk about your past, but yes, I think Chris is on the right path, right track there.
And Kristen said, I used to be a software engineer. I love the technical aspects of design and build. I also care very much about people. I want their lives to be healthy and want them to be happy in their space.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good. And Stephanie said, love that. Niche is rich. A niche can make you rich. That's what you said.
Right.
Let's see. Okay, and Caden posted the link for Luann's event. So if you guys are interested in that, please go register for that. I don't know, last I heard it was at 70 or 80 people. That was the last I heard. So I'm not sure of the exact number, but it should be a great event. Lori said, I'm registered for the Luann event. So excited to meet you all. Yeah. Oh my God. And we're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, no questions. I mean, you get 12 folks up there and who knows what's going to happen, but it's
going to be a little crazy. And Dala and Natalie are from Wingnut Social are the MCs, and they have a great dynamic. So it should be a lot of fun. And I know that, Luann is really all about making sure everybody learns.
Yeah.
They have their aha moments and they learn enough. It's going to be a huge value. I mean, where can you get 12 or 15 of us, because it's Luann and our husband also. Vin is going to be there. I think it's a total of 15. I might 14.
Yeah.
Where can you get us all in one place? Never. We can't even get virtual in one place.
Well, I'm bringing my notebook, and I'm going to be taking notes as I listen to the other experts up there. So, yeah.
I know. It's going to be exciting. Okay. Nancy said, not me, Nancy Leah, just take care of my dad at home with lots of increasing needs, dementia, Parkinson's, plus ADA focused course in my master's program for interior design. That could be my niche. Absolutely. But I also love and want to do kitchen and baths and baby nurseries, kitchen rooms, because those areas really address my strengths and interests. So again, Nancy, you could lead with one of them, but you still have the ability to do the others. Yeah. You know, it's not like you're going to say no, but if you're trying to write a blog or try to write an email or try to put a post on your social media, and you're trying to speak to everyone in those three areas, you may get locked up. So my point is pick one, and then you're going to go, I know exactly what to say to people who are looking for new kitchens.
And you know, Nancy, what I think a good way to approach this is think in terms of what problem is it that you want to solve or that you have solved or you're really intrigued by, and make that the focus of your niche. I mean, you know, because this really is about being able to help people overcome their pain, as we talked about earlier, overcome their challenge. Where is it you've excelled in the past? What has worked for the past, and where would you like to continue working in this direction? You know, think about the problems you want to help solve as a design professional, and then let that lead you down the road toward deciding what your niche is.
Definitely. And I don't want to forget to go back to Tanya's question. Thank you, Caden. Caden's prompting me, guys, because I can't remember everything. So how do we best attract people to our websites? Do you want to address that first?
Okay, websites. Let's see. A couple of thoughts come to mind. One of them is voicemail, believe it or not. Remember, we don't think much about voicemail, but voicemail, Americans spend 3.2 billion hours a year talking to and listening to voicemail. Ooh. So the question to ask yourself is, what do people hear when they don't hear you? In other words, when you don't answer your cell phone and they get the recorded message. What you can talk about is your website and refer people to your website there. I would like to see you have on your signature line in your email a link to your website and more importantly to your bio. I'm a big believer in your bio is your most vital and versatile and valuable personal marketing tool. But it would be, if you can connect people to your website every time you send out an email, that would really create a buzz. And speaking about creating a buzz, if you have new information on your website that you post on a regular basis, that will definitely increase your traffic. I'm talking about a blog post on first of all, your homepage. 50% of the people who go to your website never get beyond the homepage. So your homepage has to be compelling and concise, and it's really got to rock. And you can help yourself really gain attention by having something new and fresh on your homepage on a periodic basis. Maybe it's your most recent blog post. Maybe posting your most recent blog post on your homepage, or at least the first couple lines of your most recent blog post, will have that impact. Will inspire or motivate people to want to come back on a regular basis and talk it up. But if that blog of yours is addressing the major challenges faced by your target audience, those people will be coming back on a regular basis, and interest in your website will increase substantially. So speaking to those kind of issues on your homepage, blog posts could be a great way to get people to really start checking you out a lot more often.
Yeah, and I do. And Kristen is saying too, and I love the idea of the voicemail. I have a voicemail. I never say, go visit my website while you're waiting for me to call you back kind of thing. I mean, I wouldn't say it like that. So I think that's a great idea. The other thing that you really have to do is do your Google listing, right? To get really about driving people to your website is easy and hard all at the same time. I mean, you want to make sure you are registered with Google as a business in your area. So as Fred said in the beginning, when they Google your town and say interior designer, you pop up. That is a free service. You don't have to pay for that.
Right.
Obviously, if you pay for a Google ad, that brings you to the top. But if they're anyone like me, I bypass the ads people because it pisses me off. I know, but not everyone does that. So I have to say, people who do run Google ads do often have success. But for someone like me, I'm like, I'm not going to them. I'm going to the next person under them. The other thing you really want to do is when you're commenting, I mean, there are people who you can go into, I know Houzz is a big issue, but if you're going to go into the forums of Houzz and answer people's design dilemmas, you can sign your name and put your email. You can sign your name and put your email into any of the forums that you are contributing to. And that's a great way to drive people to your website. The other thing, like Fred said, is your blogs. If you have blogs on a regular basis that are specific to your clients' pain points, Google is going to pick that up. So when somebody says, what could they be searching for? They have windows that go all the way to the ceiling. How do you put a window treatment on that? Let's say you wrote a blog about that. Windows, floor to ceiling, large window treatments. You want to really hit on the pain points and write blogs about that. And the other thing you can do is steadily update. You can go back to old blogs and update them, and Google reads that as a new post, and they re-up you in the feed. It takes a long time, but I even like what you and I did probably over a year ago. We exchanged blogs, right?
Yes.
I did a blog for your audience. You did a blog for my audience. And those cross links are really important to drive your website to the top of the listings. So don't be afraid. I don't believe in competition. You are attracted to who you're attracted to, and it is the same, their voice, their messaging, the way they say things. It's the same for your clients when they're hiring interior designers. Don't be afraid to do a blog exchange with another interior designer.
And this whole thing of blogging, a lot of design professionals generate business from their blogs, but many, many others don't. And again, the pain posts are the ones that seem to generate the most interest. For example, here in Colorado, a big challenge faced by very high-end homeowners in the mountains, near Vail and Keystone and Telluride, the fact they have these huge homes and they have these odd-shaped windows, and the sun, the UV rays come pouring into these odd-shaped windows that are not covered properly, and they destroy the antiques, and they destroy the furniture, and they destroy the rugs in these these multi-million-dollar homes. So writing a window fashion professional, I don't know that this has been done yet, but I'd like to see a window fashion professional in Colorado writing an article about how to cover your odd-shaped windows as a way to protect your interiors. But that's a real pain point. That's what I mean by pain. I mean, people are literally, we have 300 days of sunshine here in Colorado, and people are putting newspaper up there.
Really?
Doing whatever they can to somehow block this sun from destroying the artwork and the antiques and the other things. So really the key is, what would somebody Google if they had one of those large windows and the sun is coming in and they're covering it? You have to say, what would they go up to their computer and type? You've got to be creative about this. Yeah.
Right. You have to get creative. What would they type in their computer? The sun, how do I prevent the sun coming in my windows and ruining my furniture? You want to make sure you have that wording in your keywords, in the text of your blog, in the title, maybe even. And those, you want to think, what would somebody Google? And you want to make sure that's in your blog, and it's in your title and in your keywords and in the keywords that are behind the images, all these little things. So if you have a web designer who is uploading your blogs, tell them to do it. If you're doing it yourself, kind of all those fields you ignore sometimes because you just don't know what to do with them, they might be able to get you higher on the ranking if you actually Googled how to fill them in, right? I
Right.
mean, that's Google has so much, YouTube has so much. I mean, I go there, swear to God, every day. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do that? So it's interesting. Let me just go and say if I've got any more comments. Let's see.
I have a topic I want to address when after you've done that.
Okay, Heather said, I might attend just to meet those of you in person. I've not yet actually had the opportunity to meet offline. Yes, Heather, come to the event. I've met you, but at the IDS event, but come. Nancy said, thank you both for addressing and answering my questions and concerns. And then Heather said, actually, I'm going to move towards a niche I love. People who are bored with white and beige, as in, ugh, not yet another white kitchen with farmhouse sink and the hunger for something vastly different. I have a client who totally is break out of boring. And that's one of her taglines. And I love it. Kristen said, post recent blog post on your homepage. New idea for me. Thanks. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Talk to me.
All right. So I was mentioning, it just came to mind as I was talking about designers here in Colorado who are working with very, very high-end clients in the mountains. Many of these people, these are second homes, vacation homes. You know, Nancy, I was thinking recently that the number one, I've been coaching and speaking to design professionals for over 31 years. And the number one question I've been hearing in the last 18 months without question is, how do I get bigger projects from better clients? I hear this time, I get emails, I get texts, all that. How do I get bigger projects from better clients? And this is a question that has really intrigued me to the point where I've been doing a lot of interviewing and talking to some of the Architectural Digest Hot 100 designers, and some of the most financially successful designers all around the world are people I've been talking to and doing research on. And what I'm hearing from them, you know, these are people who do work with these high-end clients. These are people who do get these very big projects. And I've kind of asked them, what's the deal? Why is it you get these projects? You work with these high-profile clients, and 99% of design professionals don't. What is the difference? And one woman about 3 weeks ago gave me an answer. I won't mention her name, but she gave me an answer that really made sense. She said, I charge more.
Absolutely. Oh my God, it's so key.
She was saying the biggest obstacle for designers not to be able to get bigger projects and better clients, they charge too little. And think about it, Nancy. I mean, these high-end clients are used to paying top dollar for top quality services and products. And if you come in with a proposal that's way, way too low, they may not say this to your face, but they may be thinking about this, or they may be sharing this with their spouse. If this person is so good, why is it she's so cheap? Why is he so cheap? What is he or she not telling me?
100% agree.
If you are serious about really making 2019 your breakout year, the year that you get bigger projects and better clients, you better start charging more money. You better start, because if you don't charge the part, people will take you seriously, and you will be spinning your wheels and not getting the kind of business and working with the kind of clients you want to. So don't disqualify yourself by charging too little, because you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes, I agree completely. But at the same time, I hear everyone's thoughts right now saying, but I don't have any business right now, and the business that's coming to me are not of that level. So I do feel you can't jump to the front of the line.
Well, I think
you have to start here and work your way up and have exemplary service and get your social media on point with your branding and get your systems within your organization beautifully smooth. That's what brings your confidence up to be able to charge more and then start attracting clients that are at that level.
Well, I'm going to get back to pain here. I think if you don't have any work right now, but you really start in your marketing, really addressing the biggest challenges faced by higher end clients in your area, your target market, and come across as an expert, who's someone who speaks their language, who's been there, done that, then you can charge and should charge the fees that will get you to where you want to go. So
definitely. I have a client in Vail, Colorado. She's a great designer. And really, the way she attracts her clients is by having that concierge concierge.
The white glove
Right?
service.
The way, well, and that the fact that they don't live there, these are their second homes, these are their ski chalets. They come here for the holidays. And when they buy a place and they don't live there, she can do a lot virtually with them. She can handle everything from soup to nuts. When they move in, they have flatware, they have towels, they have seats, they have everything, in addition to the fact that she built this home from the ground up. But her speaking to their pain points is that, I know you don't live here, but you want to be able to walk in next November and have it completely done and ready for your family to enjoy the holiday and the ski season.
There's a significant amount of trust that you have to build up if that's the kind of situation you're in. If you don't see your clients, if your clients are not in the premises, they have to be able to trust you to the point where they're comfortable with you in their homes and coming up with the design decisions, even if they're thousands of miles away. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. We have 4 minutes left. So I'm just going to remind everyone to please like and share this broadcast so that we help more interior designers, because that's always the goal of my broadcast, to teach you guys, you know, that as Luann would say, that aha moment that makes you go, I should do that. But yet at the same time, not overwhelm you, because it is hard. You guys have a lot of noise coming at you all at the same time. So I'm trying to give you a little bit each week. So let me just read. Welcome, Paula. She said, finally able to listen in. Better late than never. You will be able to go back and watch the replay. So if you missed the beginning, that's fine. Heather said, yes, to be sure. But how do you get the people to tell them how much you charge? Do you put it on your website?
No.
That's what I saw. I was just going to say, Heather,
absolutely, positively no to that.
I was actually going to say, Heather, you know the answer to this already. No, you don't put it on your website. Do you put on your website to only take projects? There's a typo in here at $250K. I wouldn't do that. You know, there's filling in the gaps too sometimes until you get that big client for certain levels. And then Deborah said, I'd like to understand the benchmark of what more is. Maybe give an example of a medium-sized space like a living room fees. Depends on where you live.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right? It depends on where you live. It really depends on what you consider small, medium, and large for your business. And that's really the best answer. Like, I couldn't sit here and say, well, if someone's spending $25,000 on a living room complete redo, is that considered high end in your area? Is that considered low end? Or is that considered medium? So it depends. You know, here on Long Island, $25,000 for a moderate size living room could get you decent, but it's not the highest end.
No.
By no means. So it really depends on where you live. And we're at 5:28 now, which I'm shocked. I told you it would go an hour. It just happens.
You're absolutely right. I wanted to mention quickly, Nancy, that if people want to reach me,
that's what I was going to ask you.
I do a lot of work with bios, helping design professionals create killer bios. I have an initial coaching session. Go to BioBriefing, biobriefing.com if you're interested in a 30-minute coaching session on that. If you want help going over your website and getting some coaching on how to come up with more compelling, more concise, and powerful language on your website, website1sober.com. And one last thing, this is a general introductory coaching session I offer. You can sign up for by going to my website, interiordesignbusiness.net/coach call. interiordesignbusiness.net/coach call. So
okay, repeat them one more time, because I'm hoping Caden is throwing them in the chat.
Okay, so BioBriefing, BioBriefing.com for bios. Website Onceover, WebsiteOnceover.com. Website Onceover for website help, and interiordesignbusiness.net/coach call for an introductory coach call with me, with yours truly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with me, Fred. And I can't wait to see you at the end of March for Luann's event.
Yes, it'll be fun to get together then. And I want to wish you and everyone else on board here a prosperous and successful 2019.
Absolutely. Same to you. I'm going to say goodbye now. End of weekend wind down. I'm business coach Nancy, coach to interior designers and other creative entrepreneurs. And you can find me and a link to my introductory consult on my website, nancyganzelcrawford.com. So, Fred, I will see you in March.
Okay. See you in New Jersey.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.